Alright, I'm live. This is day number 20 in the row, building my startup basically out of my kitchen. I wouldn't call it a startup, it's a business. I'm trying to build a business. I'm not trying to change the world, okay? I'm not trying to innovate. I'm not trying to make the world a better place and end the hunger. No, I'm just trying to make money. That's it. After I make money, maybe I will think about making the world a better place. And quite frankly, by building a business, you're helping other people as well. It's not like you're evil and collecting money, right? So if you build something useful, you're gonna have people who are paying for that. So people are paying for that, so they're getting some value. So we're creating some value out of nothing. So in kind of some sense, we're kind of making the world better, but also the goal is to make money. And more specifically, to make 10k a month. That's the goal. That's the goal. Alright. So let me check if I am live everywhere. I am, especially on Twitch. Okay, so I'm gonna write as always in the chat that welcome to the day. Welcome, where's my chat? Welcome to the day 20. And the goal for today is finish the tasks, basically. That's the goal. So I have here 20 something tasks that yesterday I converted into JSON, and this JSON needs to be uploaded into the database. That's the task. So basically the task for today, because today is Saturday, the last weekend. I want to convert all of them, all of these lessons, all the tasks that I have, I need to upload them into database. Now I kind of think that it is a little bit a lot. It's a little bit a lot. So I asked ChatGPT to help me and create a Next.js app that's gonna simplify it for me. I used it a little bit. I don't think it simplifies. So where are my tasks? Where are my tasks? Yeah, so basically what we are doing is actually not that fun. And I'm glad that I have it on the recording, because it's kind of cool to show that building a business is not always fun. It's not only coding. I don't know. I've seen so many people here on Twitch, basically just coding all the time. But coding is the easiest part of building a startup. Like that's not the most complicated part. Startup or a business. The most complicated part is marketing, sales, building an audience, or just filling out if you're creating some kind of course, filling out with the content. That's the most difficult part, not the coding. Coding is straightforward. You can debug it at some point. You cannot debug marketing, unfortunately. The problem with marketing, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, right? With coding, with ChatGPT, with help of other people, you will be able to get there at some point. You'll be able to develop what you want. Yeah, it might be not good, but it will work. But with marketing, if marketing doesn't work, that's it. So I'm freaking out about marketing much more about the coding part. Lesson 3. Turns out lesson 3 is huge. It is huge. Like I never knew how many tasks I have. Look at this. Almost 300 lines of tasks that are super hard to test. Because look at this. How I'm gonna test this one? Right? That's why I was thinking for building some kind of admin panel. But for that, let's see, npm run dev. I already have something, but it's not really, I didn't check it, and it looks fine from the first glance on it. Let's see, localhost localhost modules tasks. I think it's this thing. Yeah, so it kind of I can write here description of the task. Let's see. So what do you wanna yeah, blah blah blah, then add requirement 1, that add test 1, blah blah blah, and then add task, and then it automatically adds it. And then if I want to add another one, add requirement and test, blah 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 blah, add task, then it adds here, and then I can just copy paste this JSON. Now the problem is that this thing is missing two main fields. It's missing pre-code, which means the code that will be executed all the time before the tests, and it's missing template, and template can be huge. This one thing. Another thing that I already have those tasks. So I already have all the tasks for the lesson 3. I just need to review them. And for that, let me ask this thing, ChatGPT. So I'm gonna just pass all of them, and I'm gonna go to ChatGPT and I'm gonna ask it, because I don't really know. Like I have an idea how to implement this, but I don't really know it. Yeah, I don't know how to make the review process easier. Let's say I want to, or let's go to my special task buddy that I created. Task buddy. Can I, by the way, can I move them? No. Okay. Can't. I want to review all the tasks I created. Especially, I want to see the code, cause code in a good formatting. Is there in a good formatting? I also want to copy pre-code and run with all the tests in the developer console. Is there a way to build something with Next.js to review all these tasks? I can just review them one by one. Here is an example of all tasks. No, I already have the project. I'm not sure how much helpful is it actually. Yeah, let's try it out. Why not? Let me create a new folder and let's call it admin. And in the admin, I'm gonna create page.tsx. And can I just hard code the JSON into the page. Also make sure that all not keywords. I call them keys, but JSON keys. But how do you call them? All arguments are displayed per task. Also, there's no ID for the tasks. So let's not search based on ID rather than on order or something else. I feel like I'm spending more time now trying to do this thing. I can actually do something like this, right? Yep. And now it's gonna be just this. Okay, tasks. Yeah, now I want to get the task. It's not. Now it's very chaotic. Now it's very chaotic. Okay, let's see. Oh, that's much better. That's much better. Thank you, ChatGPT. That actually helps. And I think what I want to do is border. Can I say that it's half? Nope. Okay, let's just delete. Let's leave it like this. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It actually gives me what I want. Okay. So let's review those tasks. Before I review them, let me check quickly if everything is good with the stream. Yeah, looks good. Right. So that looks good. Solution, yep. So template, this is something that we're gonna write before. So yeah, that works. Pre-code. Now pre-code something that will be executed before each test. Works. Yep. Yep. I wish I could click on them and like done. I'm not gonna implement it because it's gonna be just wasted time. So this is the template. I'm basically displaying all the other solutions before. And then I say that resize. Yeah, I mean, later we could add more tests. Oh, there are more tests. Okay. Okay, it means that we should separate them in different tests. No. This is okay. This is the. Oh, wait a second. No, we do need to separate them. Okay, so this is task number 4. Task number 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, now that's correct. So here's the width, and the next one will be the length. Yeah, resize. Yeah, that's the one. It ends here. And another one. Another one goes here. I think I can even put it in the pre-code. Let's check that out. Resize must correctly update the length. Yeah, that's good. That's good. 20, 30. Let's do something very unexpected. So let's do, because if the user sets it 20 and 30, that's way too. Let's say 887 here for the lengths. 887. And what is the least obvious number? What is the least obvious number? Something like 6, 0, 1, 3. Something like this. I would say this is the least obvious number. Because I don't want the case where the user actually implemented a wrong method, but for some reason just set by default the right values, and then the method works. I mean, for that I could just call it twice, right? But it's fine. Alright. Yeah, I would even put it into the pre-code actually. Here. I don't see why I wouldn't. Oh, one thing that I forgot. I'm gonna put the focus. This is not the right focus. Let me put the focus. I don't know. I'm on the kitchen, so if my neighbor comes into the kitchen, I'm gonna have to move. But for now, I'm good. She's not here, so I'm good for now. Let's see. Let's say 2 hours. Focus. Yeah, this asking ChatGPT to do that's much better, because now I can actually see what's going on there. Yeah, but this is the repaint. Let me see. So repaint, green, and then let's say white. That would be the proper test. And then here should be white as well. Because here I say multiple times and I'm only calling it once. Because again, those methods, so ChatGPT thought that those methods will be executed one by one. No, they will be executed just standalone. Okay, increase passengers. Yeah, increase passengers 0, 3. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Oh, let me turn on the music for me. Wait, why don't I hear the music? Can you hear the music? That's strange. I can't hear the music. Ah, now I can hear it. Alright. Okay, here a lot of tests. Yeah, I see this method should be cut out. Decrease passengers, let's see, decrease passengers, increase passengers, decrease. So I'm cutting out the second test. Okay. One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 methods. Good. This one, pass. Let's see about this one. Yeah, that seems to be correct. All of them seem to be good. Task number 9. So we have in total, I think, 20 something tasks. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take my face here and make it really small. You don't really wanna see my face, right? Okay. You know what would be nice? If in these tasks we can include the ID of the lesson, not other way around. Because that's the way it works in Salesforce, and then the IDs, we can basically kind of write a script that's gonna do it for us for the topics. But it does make more sense to include here. So this task goes into this lesson, this task goes into this lesson, because now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take those tasks and I'm gonna upload them into MongoDB, which is, and then I'm gonna collect all the IDs and redistribute them into different tasks. Topics, not tasks, topics. which is very strange workflow, but that's for the future. For now, we work with what we have. Okay, probably I need to remove from here radio. I don't wanna include it at this point here. It doesn't do anything, but if I include here radio, I also need to include it in the template or in the pre-code, because otherwise it won't compile. Yeah, the tests seem to be fine. Yeah, the tests are good. Okay, I'm really hyped because we are moving so much quicker than yesterday. Nice, nice. Radio type is on station. That seems to be right. The only one thing I want to remove with sharing. And you know what? I want to remove everywhere. We don't need to overload people who are just starting out with this with sharing. Oh, and it's 31 occurrences. Okay, let me how can I replace it? Match case, match the whole world. Yeah. Replace with nothing. That's good. With sharing, nothing. Hello from Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone? Wow, where is it? Wait, let me. Khalid. Not the best picture what they show here on the Google map. Oh wow. That's quite far away. Doesn't look that cool, man. But it is what it is. That's life. How is life there in the Sierra Leone? So, radio, digital. Good, life is good. It's good to hear. Okay, then the solution is not really correct, because for the solution I need to assign default values. We don't really care that much about the solution actually. But let me find, I don't need to write it down now. I have somewhere the solutions. Methods. Here's the solution. Okay, so radio type, I don't need the radio type. Okay, so you have it, the frequency, will be the default frequency, and is on will be true. And I think I'm also missing one more thing. It should be this dot station will be rock. Right? They have also, we have also volume. Okay, so we have station. Let's see. Radio type is on volume and station 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 in total. And I have 5. Which one? Frequency. I don't have the frequency. Okay, nice. So frequency. How's your progress coming? Oh, so the progress with the coding is good. The bottleneck now is with the tasks. You can see how I'm sitting here and basically moving all my tasks that I had into JSON and MongoDB. This task takes a lot of time, like a lot. Yesterday, I think I've been streaming for like 4 hours, and I've done only 2-3 lessons, 2.5 lessons. Today, I don't know, I have my Red Bull in my fridge. I have the whole day free, and I'm gonna be sitting here until I move as many tasks as I can. Because, like, I have the tasks, I have them in this format, right? So I have solutions here to the tasks, and I have them in this format. They're supposed to go, like, one by one. They're completely not suited to the format of JSON. So I'm moving that. And there's no way I can parse them or something, so there's no way I can write a script for them, so it's just manual work. Nothing exciting. But I think it belongs to building a business, right? That's kind of 50% of building businesses. It's like this. Showing up and doing stuff that you don't love. But I actually true. Yeah, I found a way to use ChatGPT and Next.js to help me out. So the visualization, because if you look at this JSON, it's unreadable. But if you look here, that's much more readable. So I'm using my Next.js. And I think in general, in future, we should add a task to the backlog, create an admin panel, so that we can easily review and modify the tasks from the database. Like you can select, for example, lesson 2, topic 3, and then task 1, and it's gonna show you all the fields for the task 1, and you can easily modify it, click on save, and it's gonna go to database. Shouldn't be that hard to build, because I don't wanna, once it's in the database, I don't wanna modify it. Like if the task fails, so if the student tries to do the task and it fails, it has some bugs inside, which is gonna happen for sure, like 100%, right? I don't wanna go to the MongoDB and modify it there. Too painful. Okay, the task number 10 is good. Task 11. But I'm so hyped because I have so many tasks. I haven't even started coming up with new tasks. I only moving the old tasks, and I already have I would say around 50 tasks in total, which is awesome. Like if I can go to 500 tasks in total for this course, that would be something. And I'm sure I can. Not for the MVP. Maybe later, after the first revenue. After it shows that it has some value behind it, people actually want to buy it. Okay, now the frequency. That's correct. The problem with those tasks now is that I need to import because they depend. So here basically the task here for user is to create classes, right? So the user will, the student will go and create those classes. Now the classes that he is creating, she or she, they depend on other classes. So for example, this one, the department, it depends on the employee. And the employee class is huge. So I need to include here not only department things, I also need to, not in the template, in the pre-code, I need to include also the whole employee class. And then it goes one level more. So I have company has a lot of departments, and departments has employees. So I need to include all of these huge tasks, and that's why it became kind of unmanageable yesterday. For example here, this manager.getFullName. Manager is of type employee. So it means that I need to pre-upload for my backend before running the tasks that this method actually exists. So it means that the pre-code here is not correct. The pre-code should be much, much bigger. The pre-code, let me see the tasks that I have. So this is the whole employee class. So I think I need to include the whole employee class into the pre-code. Get full name. Yeah, the get full name, that's correct. I mean, maybe not the whole one, but let me just to be sure and include the whole one. I don't know. What task is it? Is it task 12? No, it's not. But anyway. It should be this one. Throwing your error, isn't it too late for you? How do I even put them? How do I even put them? Because I already have the JSON. Let me just add this thing. Nope. Then good. I'm usually up late nights, mornings. Okay, I see. I can find this task here in the JSON. Okay, let me get together, because that's add a method named get department. Here we go. I can just search for it. What? I have twice the task. I have 3 times the task. What the hell is that? Yeah, just duplicate. Ooh, that feels nice. Delete task. Have to run, but I'll be back to check on you. Yeah. I hope I will be soon done with those tasks. Because they're really not that much fun. I I hope I will be done with them. So see you later. Okay, so this is pre-code. This is something that will be executed all the time, and this is the template. Now the template is not correct, because the template must include... Yeah, okay, so this employee stuff that should go out of the template. Is department written correctly? Department, I feel like the one letter is missing, no? Department? Ah, department is correct, okay. Yeah, and now the manager, which is type employee, should have this get full name. And calculate bonus. Calculate bonus. And the reason why I include also all of that stuff is because I don't know how the student will solve this task. So I need to basically provide all the means for the student to solve the task. Because, for example, you can go here, this manager.get full name, but you can also go this manager.name plus dot last name, whatever, like this. But you know what? I actually enjoy, even if those tasks are a little bit time consuming, I do enjoy them much more than working as a developer, working for someone else as a Salesforce developer. I don't know, maybe it's because of the companies that I worked for, but I do enjoy it more. I don't know, even if this is definitely much shittier task than working, and I'm not getting directly paid to do this task, right? But it feels exciting. It feels exciting. Okay, I found here a problem. In this here, again, ChatGPT always thinks that those tests will be executed one by one after each other. Nope, they won't be. they will be executed as a standalone things. Now we don't need this here, because it only makes it more difficult to read, because it's not going to be shown to the user anyway. And are equal, okay, so if we have, wait, is it just because of new line? Yeah, just because of the new line. All right. So we definitely need to build some kind of admin panel where I just go and modify it here directly. Okay, that seems to be good. So I check this. This is good. Get salary expenses to the department and this template. And pre-code. Pre-code should be basically the same as before. Supervisor.salary. Supervisor. Supervisor. Yeah. It's missing constructors. That's the employee class that goes into... Let me do like this. Oh, now it's in one line. Okay, so there's only one requirement. So first I'm gonna make it in one line. This, yeah. And then I'm gonna add it to the template, not to the pre-code. I'm gonna delete the employee, the old employee that we have. And include the new one. Yeah. I probably should have included though with a with all the new lines, because the idea is that I can read it. Ah, damn it. Alright, let's do this one in one line. Let's do this one in one line. It's fine. Did someone knock on the door? Let me check. I think someone knocked on the door. Whatever. If someone knocked on the door, they can just ring. Yeah, the pre-code will be huge. Okay, here's what I noticed. When I deleted the previous one, this one should be replaced with this one. No. Okay, no, public class should be replaced with the public class, like this. Yep. Now that's correct. That's this tool with VS Code. That's the biggest life hack. It's really good. Okay, totally expenses, get salary expenses, 100. Yeah, seems to be right. Okay. Oh, I know. I have this. So here again, I'm running into the same problems. The pre-code doesn't have the full employee class, but it's using the full employee class. So I need to include it. And here before I included in one line and it's not readable. That's not what I want. So I can go back here, somewhere here, where I have the proper pre-code. Yeah, and I can copy it from there. That makes sense. Okay, this is the pre-code, and the pre-code goes... Yeah, into this one. That's where we have employee. But I don't want to delete everything. Exactly, I want to delete this part. And also this is too much, don't need this. Still from the last task. That seems to be correct, and I even want to copy this whole thing, because I know that I'm probably gonna need it. Okay, task 14, employee. We have all the constructors, and then we run this finance department, new department, and then get budget difference. The difference will be, yeah, 50,000. That's the difference. Yeah, that seems to be correct. Okay, create a class named company with the following data. Blah 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 blah. Template. No, that should be not the template. I think for this task should be 0 template. 0 template. Company, yeah, template goes away. Now pre-code though, pre-code gets even more, because now we need to set up employee and department into the pre-code. Yeah, I'm just a little bit lost because it's kind of hard to navigate the huge things that we have. We do need to build an admin panel. Like, that might be even priority before launch. Because it's really impossible. Because how are we gonna debug it? Like, really, how are we gonna debug it? Like, the one, let's say this task is gonna fail. How I'm gonna go and search for this task? Like, that's gonna be impossible. That's gonna be impossible. I think we're gonna need to build this admin panel. I'm probably gonna ask Sasha tomorrow how long it's gonna take. I wish I had more time in the day. Let me enable music back. Okay, now I need to help of ChatGPT because I need to put those, not the radio company, the whole, not the company, the department and employee into one string. Can you make for me one line string with the proper spacing and that will include this code I needed for JSON tasks. This was employee, now department. We can I think we're gonna show this pre-code for the user as well. So I think we're gonna show it like, for example, when you hover over the, I don't know, like a question mark or something, yeah, we're gonna show how it looks, because if it's hidden, it's gonna be very confusing for a student, because student maybe might think that you need to write it on your own. Actually, something that I'm gonna add immediately to the Trello, something that goes just in the backlog, and I'm gonna say add pre-code, show pre-code for the students. Sasha will be doing that. Oh, I can finish the first lesson into done. Write down the content map. I do have a content map to some degree, but that's gonna be, yeah, still need to work on that. Okay, this whole huge thing. That goes as pre-code to the task 15 company. Okay, yeah, but we also need to set those if we wanna. Gonna ask ChatGPT, can you fix this JSON task so that it includes all the checks for all the fields that needs to be created. it's important. Requirements are descriptions for tasks. Therefore, it should be equal amount of tasks and requirements. I think now what it gives me, I think I can work with it. I think it looks good. I'm gonna need to move a few things, but I think it looks good in total. Wait. Yeah. Let's see. That goes into the pre-code. This as well. Okay, it's a good test, but it should be one test. Yeah, and then department. Well, then we need to set the department. Like, we cannot just say, hey, it should be set automatically, we need to set it. Okay, I see. So it's okay. It's taking them one by one as always. Somehow it fails to understand the concept that they're always running separately. New department, yeah, that's good. That's good. I think it's good. Yeah, I think I'm gonna move this one so that we have the same structure. Yeah, for the pre-code now here again, I need to put all the employee in department together. Pre-code employee, as always, department as always. Now the company, tech company CEO is equal Alex Smith. Get SEO info assert are equal Alex Smith. Yeah, is it what I'm asking in the task? The full name of the SEO. Yeah, that seems to be correct. Seems to be correct. The only one thing that I'm gonna remove here this because it looks strange. Okay. Few more tasks. That's the music for this type of work. And that's also music for this type of work. Either chill or rocking it. Again, the same thing. Oh wait, this template. Nope. The pre-code should be modified. I can make it smaller. You don't want to read it anyway, right? Is the solution correct? Department.name, department.manager, yep. Now, is the pre-code correct? New department, manager, new employee, yeah, that seems to be correct. And if it's not correct, then it's gonna be modified on later anyway, because the only way to check if it's correct is to run it. I think 1, 2, just 2 tasks left. Oh, that feels good. Okay, task number 18, let me guess. Create a constructor for the company class. CEO all departments, yeah. Which means, again, I'm gonna delete the pre-code that I have. I wonder if I should put the pre-code into just different, I don't know, different JSON or something. Like this, and then it says that nothing specific needed. That's not true. Something that it put here, that's what needed. That's what needed for pre-code. Let's see. And then we create employee SEO, department, sales, development, HR. Then we create a new company. We put all of them. And then we run the tests. Seems to be correct. The only one thing that the tests, they should be here in the tests. Okay, so this is basically the test. Okay, see. Oh wait, now I understand. Now I understand. Let's go back. Not that much back. I am lost. Yeah, okay, so that's correct. Okay, some of them belong to the pre-code, some of them belong to the tests. Ugh. Okay, now out of this many, I'm gonna create different, because they basically smashed everything into one. One, two, three, four, five, six. 6? No, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want... Okay, that seems correct. That's good. That's actually good that it automatically checks for me though. Nice. Okay, let's go and check it again. Yeah, seems to be correct. And the last task, the last, finally. No, you know what? This is a stupid task to check. This is a stupid task. I'm gonna delete it. Oh, no, it's this one. Gonna delete. It's very hard, like it depends on a lot of stuff, and it's very hard to get right. It's basically a big string, and if you're missing somewhere a white space, it's not gonna let you do that, so it's a stupid task for checking. I'm not gonna include it. Alright, so now I have here 18 tasks. 18 tasks. 18 really good tasks. Now the question is, how do I make it now the uploading them easy? Because I don't wanna go and get their IDs and try to relate which one belongs to which topic, because like all of them gonna belong to different topics. Let me create a new file. Yeah. And first I'm gonna open the lesson number 2 and let's say lesson 1.json. So the JSON of lessons is always the same. It's like this. They contain here a list of tasks. They have a topic name and then they have the WordPress ID. And I already know their WordPress ID, so just need to put the WordPress IDs. And simple methods. Okay, so those are the topics. Now how should I do it? Should I write here in the tasks kind of the topic to which it belongs, so that I can easily go then and copy paste them, the IDs, because I need to put IDs here. Then let's do just one by one. I'm just gonna upload the tasks for the simple methods. And then I'm gonna go to the next one. So how many topics do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 topics. 10 topics, and I have 18 tasks. Let's say in each of them gonna be 2. Yeah, let's see. Simple methods. So which one can I put in the simple methods? Definitely the first 3 go into the simple methods. The first 3. So if I upload now the first 3, they're gonna go into simple methods. Now, I really wish it would give me immediately the IDs, but it doesn't. So this one, this one, and this one. And I'm gonna call it topics.json. Okay, simple methods done. Can I just add white space here to indicate? Okay, now add the method name resize to rectangle. This method should update rectangle length. So that is already at speed 1, 2, 3. The next 3 they go 4, 5. Even this one. No, this is already okay. Yeah. The next 4, they go into the next topic. Okay, so I have 1, again 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5. Okay, that's important. I have 5. They belong here. Oh, I think they should be other way around, like this. Yeah, that's good. Okay, the next topics, they belong to the constructor, right? It's radio, this constructor. Yeah. The next 2 topics, they belong to the constructor. Here we go, constructors. Yeah, so for a lot of them, I won't have even anything, which is fine. I mean, fine for now, not fine for the future. I can see the gaps. Okay, let's see what other topics do I still have. Constructors with parameters, methods in other classes. So this one gonna have, I think, the remaining all of them. Yeah, it's gonna have remaining. How many? Let's see how many remaining we have. Okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Good. So the last 8 I will put in the last topic. In the reversed order, as always. Can I... Yeah, I can do like this. Wait, let me make it smaller. That's perfect. It's much better. That looks good. Okay, now I'm gonna upload those topics. Topics. Add data, insert document. Insert. Yes, 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 yes. Look at this. Look at this, what I'm gonna do now. Look at this. Here's what I'm gonna do now. Done, 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 done. And this done, 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 done. Everything is done. Everything is done. Green. Cut it out. Cut this out. Whew. And we have, how many tasks do we have? Tasks. 53. 53 tasks already migrated. 53. I'm gonna... What color should we give to 53? Let's give an orange. Still not yellow. Like, from 70 tasks we can give yellow, and from 90 tasks we can give green. Okay. So this is good. This is good. We are not just moving quick. We are basically just flying through everything. Okay, so I will be... This is from last time. I'm gonna call it coffee break. Coffee break. And let's say coffee break 12:18, 12:12 till 12. I don't know. Let's say 12:20. But I might be back sooner. How can I make the full mode? Okay, so it should be... View.
You wanna put that dish in your mouth?
Wish you could slide into my mind and make me mine. Push play rewind. It's sweet outside, and so am I. You wanna slide like dynamite. Your eyes on me, find out with me, baby. Yeah, next round on you. I'll take that too. Be good to you. My appetite. Turn my head with a side flip. I know you like it. Baby, go and earn it. Or stay frustrated. Let me draw your map so you know where you're at. Like to attract and you react. Your eyes on me, find out with me, baby. Yeah, next round on you. I'll take that too. Be good to you. My appetite.
When I said coffee break, I literally meant coffee, getting coffee. So I got a little bit of coffee. I think I wanna do something more fun actually now. I wanna do a few things. So first I wanna check all the streams because you never know. Yep, seems to be everything is working. Now, funny enough, for some reason, this stream, day 18, it kind of took off with the amount of views. No idea why. No idea why. But I'm glad that it's happening. I'm glad that you guys watching it. So, welcome. Should we do a reaction video? So I have few fun things on my agenda. First, I wanna do a reaction video to the Walter video. I watched a little bit, but not much. So I'm gonna turn down the music, and I wanna watch the roadmap. Let's do that. Let's do the reaction. Let me probably put here.
Walters 954 and I guess Casanova here. What are you doing? Casanova the coding cat? Salesforce development can be complex, but it does not need to be confusing. There's so many different things that you can learn, so it's hard to pick actually what you need to learn.
Wait a second. I think I see here a recording button on my. Let me try to record this thing. Can I? Can I record it? I mean, of course, I know that it's recording automatically because. Let me go to my restream and make sure that the recording is enabled. Maybe I can make it easier. Live embed channel update events video storage. Nah, that's not what I want. Team. Oh, I can add someone. Nice. I can eat Igor there. Settings. Yeah, let's go into it.
Walters 954 and I guess Casanova here. What are you doing? Casanova the coding cat?
Nice code.
Salesforce development can be complex, but it does not need to be confusing. There's so many different things that you can learn, so it's hard to pick actually what you need to learn, especially when you are first starting out. That's why I've created a Salesforce developer roadmap for those beginning developers to kind of follow along and understand the more important things that they should be looking at. Hey everybody, Walters954 here. I've been doing Salesforce development for a pretty long time now.
So first, looks really great because I don't know what tool is it, but the tool itself looks really great.
And I'm starting to impart my knowledge onto you new developers and those that want to start learning development even more. In this video, I'm going to focus on this developer roadmap that I have created, which will help walk you through some of the different areas that you should be looking at so you can focus on the most important things and stop getting lost in all of the things that are available on the great platform of Salesforce. You can grab this PDF guide completely free over at salesforcementor.com, and there's even an expanded version that you can go through which has even more detail on all of the different areas you should be looking into. And in the expanded version, there are links to different resources related to each of the different sections.
We'll definitely do
So
that.
of course we're going to start in programming fundamentals. These are the building blocks that you need to write code in any language. And of course, all of these are super important, right? You need to be able to write variables, flow control. So these are your if statements and other kind of logic statements, your collections. How do you use those, even though they're very similar to your variables and your data types, but how do you work with arrays and different sets of data? How do you collect them all together and then manipulate those values? You of course have loops. So these are things like your traditional for loops, and there are enhanced for loops and list for loops. And even deeper inside that, you'll have your break statements, continues. So lots of very interesting things inside of looping, and looping is super critical for just building efficient code.
And maybe something to add to this, that the problem with learning those topics is that they are so highly bound together. Like, you try to learn loops, and turns out you can't learn loops without learning lists. And you can't learn lists unless you learn SOQL queries. Like, those all topics, they kind of wire together, and you kind of have to go through some topics without having the full picture. And this is the challenge that I see people when learn those topics.
There are also classes, objects, and functions. Now, this could potentially have been lumped into the object-oriented programming section, but I think just learning them in general, right, some of the general structures of how you create like functions and use classes and things like that is super important, because as soon as you start talking about object-oriented programming, you go more into some of these aspects here, like constructors, inheritance, and polymorphism. Now, these are critically important, especially when it comes to the Salesforce ecosystem, but it's okay when you're first starting out to just get a general understanding of these, and of course diving into a lot of these concepts later on as you're learning more in the Salesforce ecosystem. Now,
and I want to add to this, like, the amount of trouble that people have with understanding classes, objects, and functions or methods, you can call them that way, it's just insane. Like, this is, if you take of all of this, the classes and objects are the hardest topics from what I see in my students. For some reason, there's this concept of having a class and then having objects doesn't really exist in the real world, right? And you try to make an analogy with, for example, custom objects and records, right? So custom objects, that would be classes, and records, that would be objects in Salesforce. But still, there's so much more in Apex than that. So people have really hard times understanding those topics. And I totally agree with Walter. You don't have to go into the very deep stuff with the inheritance, for example. Like, inheritance, the times that I used inheritance in my developer career in Salesforce is so few times. I don't know, I've used it maybe a few times, but in general, you need to understand it though. You need to understand it, but you don't. Chances are in the next 2-3 years, as you starting out, you're not going to use inheritance at all for Salesforce development. Versus loops, you're going to be using all the time.
Now, I love this entire section because you can learn all of these things and then apply to so many different languages. You don't even have to learn these in Apex. I almost recommend learning in Java, which is a language very similar to Apex. Like Apex is a flavor of Java, basically. So you learn all of these in using.
Not anymore. Not anymore, because as soon as I will put out my platform, you can go and learn those things on the platform. You will learn it immediately in Apex, and you're not gonna need to switch into from Java to Apex. You can just learn it in Apex. That's the whole idea behind my startup.
Using whatever resources you're comfortable with, and then you can translate it over into Salesforce Development. In terms of those resources, I recommend CS50, which is a Harvard computer science class, Codecademy, where you can get hands-on with many different languages, but I really like the Java course, and of course, Cloud Code Academy. This is my program where we teach you Salesforce Development, and all of these fundamentals are included. Next.
Cloud Code Academy, really good. Um, what was that? What was that before? The CS50. Yeah, CS50. I don't like CS50. I know it's a standard to recommend. I know it's people recommend it a lot, and I know that a lot of people love it, and some of my students love it. For some reason, I don't find it useful actually. Like they CS50 goes through a lot of stuff and nothing really in depth. I don't find it that it's teaching you something. It's good as having an overview in general what's going on with computer science, but I don't know. I'm not such a big fan of CS50, but Code Academy is good, and of course, Walter's business is awesome.
Next, let's take a peek at tooling, because all of this code is great, right? But where do we actually write it, especially as Salesforce developers? So on this side, we're talking more the tools that you need to write your code. And this really dives into the integrated development environment piece. So this is using Visual Studio Code to start writing your actual Salesforce code. Gone are the days of using the developer console. Just start out learning Visual Studio Code and using like the Salesforce extension pack, and of course learning those shortcuts inside of there. If you're just getting started out though, it's okay to use a developer console for like a few of those introductory and basic programming things, but it's really important to start getting hands-on with VS Code as your primary editor. And of course with that, Salesforce DX.
It's a bit of hassle to switch from developer console to VS Code, and actually it takes a little bit of, I would say, 1-2 weeks of adjustment to like get used to VS Code. But in general, if you know how to write code, that should be the same. And I agree with Walter. If you struggle with writing classes and objects and all of that, you probably shouldn't think about going into VS Code. You should rather go and try to do the developer console, and then so focus on the core concepts of programming. And once you have the core concepts of programming, you can also switch and add VS Code on top.
X kind of rolls into that. There are some advanced topics on here that you should just kind of read up on, especially like Scratch orgs. You're starting to dive deeper into Salesforce development versus just sticking in a general sense, which can be good in the beginning, but we want to be Salesforce developers, right? The Salesforce development roadmap, we've seen those crazy salaries that Salesforce developers can make. So this is why the roadmap is pushing us into that
In
Salesforce
US,
direction.
not
Of course,
in
we
Europe.
have things like version control, getting used to using Git and branching, right? All of these nodes are super important for managing your code. If it's not your code versions, you're potentially working with other people on teams and tracking that code base, and even your metadata that exists inside of Salesforce can be put into version control tools, which are super useful. One thing a little bit more advanced is like GitHub Action, doing some automation in your branches or in your repositories, and this kind of ties very closely into CI/CD, which can be super fun, but get very complex. And of course, I had to throw in the AI tools, and this is why this document is going to.
Before we go into AI, for those who want to learn this type of GitHub action, there's a free course, Sleep Salto. Sleep Salto? Yeah, Sleep Salto. And if you click here on the all courses, there's this Salesforce CI/CD part 1 and part 2. Awesome. The best courses on the market that I could ever find. Very, very recommended. I'm gonna send it I'm gonna include probably in the video. Let's go back. AI is good. I I don't recommend though using ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot if you're just starting out. You could use ChatGPT though, so definitely not GitHub Copilot. Copilot takes you all the writing part, and when you're starting out, you definitely need to write a lot of stuff, right? So you need to develop these muscle memories, even though if you're just hitting the keyboard, you still need to develop the muscle memories. And ChatGPT, good, but important, super important, not using it for solving tasks, using it for learning, for understanding, for asking questions and identifying what do you need to learn. Super important.
To continue to get updated yearly. We've seen an explosion over the last year with different AI tools that can be super helpful in learning and for coding in itself. I'm putting ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot on here, but especially for those beginner developers, I don't want you to focus very heavily on having these tools write all the code for you, especially ChatGPT. Use it to debug your code, right? Use it to ask questions and get answers on, okay, why am I getting this SOCL error? What's this logical error that I'm getting inside of my code? What's the best approach or some best practices that I should work with when I'm writing my code? ChatGPT can help point you in the right direction, but if you try to throw like your entire code base or whatever problem you're working on in there, it can easily spit out some answer that gives you a bunch of errors, and then it will steer you in the wrong direction. Similar setup with GitHub Copilot. I really only recommend you to use this once you're way past the fundamentals and you're starting to move deeper into getting the best practices down, because they can steer you wrong. So to reduce being steered in the wrong direction, I often recommend getting a mentor. I know in the past, Salesforce had mentorship platforms that you could go on and kind of sign up, but those have gone away. And recently I saw that there was a Trailblazer mentorship program that got launched. So I signed up there to be a mentor. And I think that's a great place for people to find experienced Salesforce development mentors. So definitely check it out if you haven't already. Moving into some more fun stuff, we have Apex Fundamentals. This is where we're going to start putting all of those programming building blocks to work. And now we have a little bit of tooling that we can marry it together so that we can actually write our code on the Salesforce platform. So in this, we're going to kind of not really relearn, but make sure that we understand the specifics of Apex in terms of its data types. This is figuring out the different data types that we want to use. And it's very important, right? When you're working with a currency field, what's the correct data type? When you're working with IDs of records, what's the correct data type? And there's actually an ID data type for that. So it's important to know the correct types of data types and working with S objects and how all of that.
I'm not sure. I wish I could modify this map, because like collections, you can go a little bit, you can go more specific into collections like maps, sets, and lists. And with the SOCL, you have also like different SOCL. I don't know. Maybe I should. I wish I could modify it. Let's see what. Get the roadmap here. Grab it for free. Oh my god, I don't want to sign up. I don't want to sign up. Okay, Google. Let's say Google. Hey, what does it mean? Okay, log in with Google. Okay. Not today. Not today.
Kind of plays into collections and using maps, and why are maps so important for Salesforce development. Then we jump into SOQL. We haven't really touched on querying yet, and it may need to be added into some of this programming fundamentals, which I'll just add it into here right now, right? We have SQL, which is a querying language, right? A very common one. And then we have the Salesforce object query language, so SOQL, and this is how we get data out of the Salesforce database and into our code so that we can do calculations, do manipulations on the sets of data. Database manipulation language, or DML, are the basic CRUD operations, right? Your create, read, update, and delete that we have inside of Salesforce. So now we're able to grab our data with SOQL and then manipulate our data, right? Insert new ones, update the values that are in there. And this is where the kind of magic starts to happen with all.
I think it's It's good. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much of a benefit though people gonna have if they learn SQL, especially because SQL is quite different from SOQL. SOQL is quite intuitive. With SQL, you can go very crazy. Like in my university, we used to do all the left join and blah 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 and all of this stuff. Like you can go really deep with SQL, and it's a little bit different. The structure is the same, the idea is kind of the same, but I think there's enough material to actually go and learn SOQL directly without needing to learn SQL. And in fact, I see a lot of people just doing that actually. So I've never had a single student who had troubles learning SOQL queries.
All of our code. With all of those changes, though, we have some limits that Salesforce puts in place so that we don't break things, right? These are the governor limits, and since Salesforce is a multi-tenant environment, we have to make sure that our system, our code is not using up too many resources. This is where the governor limits come into play, and you need to be aware of the different ones that exist, especially the ones that are
That's
around
true.
SOQL and DML statements, right? This is where the best practices of like bulkification come into play, and we haven't talked about triggers yet. I guess it's up next. So your trigger best practices as well of having like one trigger per object. So we want to talk about magic. Let's take a look at Salesforce triggers. What triggers do are basically when events happen, your CRUD events or your DML events, when those go off, your Apex code can execute, often called like invoking your Apex code. But essentially, when you insert a record, let's say we insert a contact or a lead, you can create a trigger that will then fire some of your Apex code, execute some of your Apex code. Now, this code could be any business logic you like. Maybe it's counting values, maybe it's sending an integration, which we haven't talked about yet, sending an email, like all of these things. This is where your business logic starts coming alive when you're using triggers to execute a lot of your code.
Yeah, I agree with Walter. I think triggers should be your first like real topic that you learn with the Salesforce development. Like you learn all of this stuff. Basically, you're kind of like building a bridge, right? So you wanna go from not knowing anything to go to the next side of writing some code, and you're building this like brick by brick with SOQL, with the DML operations, with the governor limits, and so on. God, I'm so triggered by this triggered. Yeah, this is triggers. This is what we have to live in Salesforce. So yeah, I agree totally. So that the triggers should be the first topic, and kind of maybe testing. Like sometimes I teach first testing, sometimes first triggers. I would say testing, even though it sounds like an easy topic, people have really hard time understand them.
And with all this code that we're writing, we need to then start working on test class.
SQL is full of triggers too. No wonder you went with the MongoDB. Those are similar triggers, I would say. Yeah, so yeah, those are similar triggers. Basically, the trigger in Salesforce is when something is inserted, any type of data manipulation happens, then you can run some kind of code. I guess the same. I'm not so sure about MongoDB though. Maybe it's the same in MongoDB. I heard that it's very similar, like very frequent, just database concept.
Classes. Testing is super important because it makes you know that your code is actually working. It's writing code to make sure that your code is doing what you think your code is doing. And Salesforce is actually really interesting in this aspect. It's the only platform that has heard of it that does this, but it requires that you have 75% code coverage before you're able to deploy anything to production. So you can work in a sandbox all you want, but as soon as it's going to production, you need to have code coverage on there. There are some...
Well, requires. I've seen so many bad tests. Like, it does require that you have 75% code coverage. But with the code coverage, it means that you have to execute 75% lines. It doesn't mean that you have to execute them in a meaningful way. It just means that you have to execute them in some way. Which there's so many ways of call your code without writing anything meaningful. So you just call it, you execute, you have your 75%, and you don't test for anything. I've seen it so many times. It happens all the time.
System classes in Apex, a lot of them actually, but some more important than others. The string, math, and date class, definitely look into them if you are a beginner programmer. And then we have all of this.
Definitely on the string one and on the date one. And probably also keep in mind that there are actually a lot of them, and kind of have a look, at least know what is there, because you don't need you don't need to memorize all of them, but you do need to check them whenever you try to implement something, because you'd be surprised for how many use cases Salesforce actually have standard functions. I would say in 80% of the cases, you don't need to implement anything with the strings. It's already implemented for you with the string class. Yep, that's why we never even considered introducing code coverage requirements. It would only depress both devs, the ones that want meaningful tests, and those who hate tests. Well, I think having the 75% requirement is actually a good thing. It kind of pushes you to testing it. Like, if you're a decent developer, it will hurt you to write bad test. That's the same in Dynamics now. The standard can do a lot, but many devs do not know it. That's true. Like, I think that 75% is good. It doesn't mean that you will have awesome tests, but it kind of, if you're a good developer, you will not write bad tests. You will write at least okayish test. So, and if someone is bad developer, then having 75% or not having 75% doesn't matter.
This stuff inside of advanced Apex. If you're just starting out, it's okay to kind of skip over this or maybe do some reading on it, especially like asynchronous and Apex callouts, but they are very important for making sure that your code is efficient and doing just some of those things that you need to do in development, like using APIs for callouts and design pattern, exception handling. Very important that you have a plan or some sort of exception handling when your code isn't doing what you expect it to do. When you're trying to learn some of these concepts, there are a few resources that I recommend. Of course, there's Trailhead, Salesforce's learning platform. There's Campapex and
Please no Trailhead. Please no Trailhead. Trailhead is not good for learning those things. I mean, it's good to read documentation, but it's not good in general for learning programming.
Apexsandbox.io, where you can get hands-on. And then, like I mentioned earlier, Cloud Code, which is a combination of the fundamentals of programming and Apex fundamentals. You're learning them all at the same time, and we even cover a lot of the advanced Apex topics. So let's move on to Lightning Web Components, and this is really where you're trying to make custom user interfaces. Think of this like traditional web development for Salesforce. So there's a front-end component and a back-end, and oftentimes Salesforce developers are basically full stack developers, right? You're working on the back end of Apex and then writing these Lightning Web Components, which are the front-end pieces. So lots of things to learn in here, and there could be an entire branch that is just JavaScript fundamentals, because JavaScript is its own language. But since we know those,
and it's JavaScript, not even TypeScript, so we're stuck with the JavaScript and we don't have a way out because we have to use JavaScript.
basics building blocks, it's not going to be as hard to pick up a language like JavaScript. There's a ton of Salesforce specific things though, like data binding and certain event handling that goes on with Salesforce development. So it's important that you start to dive a little bit deeper on how Lightning Web Components work. And of course, Trailhead is a great spot for that, but I love just getting hands-on. Since LWC is a modern web framework, of course, you can do things like styling with CSS, and there is an existing library that Salesforce provides called SLDS, which gives you kind of like a base to start off with to make sure that your code and your designs look very similar to Salesforce. And
SLDS is basically Tailwind. Well, with Walter is saying that LWC is modern framework. No, like I was writing modern stuff now for the last already 3 weeks. LWC is not even nearly as modern as Next.js or not even React. But Igor, my mama said JavaScript is the best. Not hating on JavaScript.
And speaking of making things look like Salesforce, there is a component library, which is just pre-built elements that have existing functionality that you can use already. So it's very important for you to get into the component library, see what components already exist so that you're not reinventing the wheel on that one. This will be very helpful on your LWC journey and make sure that you speed up in your development. And of course, there's
Now, if you're new to LWC, it's actually super hard to learn those components because you need to understand how components communicate with each other, how event handling works, how all the SLDS stuff works. So yes, it's gonna help, but keep in mind that it's not easy, not like you can learn it. You can't learn it in a day. Let's say you need to practice a lot to understand them, how they work, and how to, more importantly, how to integrate them and when to use them and when to use something else.
There's the component aspect of it, right? You're stacking these different HTML elements inside of each other. So you need to make sure that they can communicate properly. And this is potentially an advanced topic. It's in here in custom events, but it's such an important or a foundational item that we have it even outside here. Then we jump into a lot of the advanced topics, and if you haven't written like 1 or 2 LWCs and at least have gotten started, don't really worry about some of the other pieces in here. But once you start dabbling in them even more and you like doing LWC development, look at some of these advanced topics, and a lot of them I go over in my LWC course, which is on salesforcementor.com, so check that out in the description. Now, there definitely is a lot in this Salesforce developer roadmap, but this should give you a little more focus.
Just a second. Could you wait just like 1 minute? Recording a video. Yeah, I want to cut out this thing for YouTube separately. That's why I'm ignoring few questions. Let's finish this one.
Focus and not needing to worry about all of the other things that exist out here in development, right? If you focus on these items, you'll get really good at Salesforce development and probably be ready for a junior level job, right? All of these things you will see on job descriptions and people will ask you about in interviews. Of course, let me know in the comments what you think about this roadmap. Have I missed anything? Are there pieces that I should dive deeper on? I would love to hear it. Now we know what Salesforce development concepts to focus on, but that doesn't guarantee you a Salesforce job. You've got to do a lot of things like resume building and interviewing and get that door open. And one of the best tools to open the door into Salesforce development are all the different certifications. And if you don't know which ones to focus on, check out this video over here that goes over my top 3 Salesforce developer certification.
All right, ads. Yeah, I think it's a really good roadmap. So I like it. I would like to adjust it a little bit. I mean, we can go a little bit more specific as well. But in general, this really good roadmap. I like it. It gives like it makes it looks like it's simple, but you can spend on each of those small topics, you can easily spend a month or something. So it's not like quick done. All right, that's it. So I'm done. I'm gonna cut out this part. Oh yeah. So what did you ask? I was ignoring it a little bit because I wanted to make a reaction video for Walter. I think he has awesome stuff in the Salesforce community. Have you ever tried TDD? No, like, have you ever seen it's working? Like, I don't know. I've heard some people implementing this. I spoke to people implementing this, but I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. Not that I went also super deep into the topic. So is LWC basically a Salesforce-oriented web dev framework? Yeah, exactly. That's basically the web dev framework. It's kind of similar to the Next.js, I would say. it's to some degree like the idea is the same and it's reactive, and the idea is that it's a reactive framework and so on. Basically, they developed this LWC when they saw the rise of React. They kind of, like around 2013, the whole web development shift from old looking websites into the React, into the dynamic websites. They saw this shift and they basically started implementing LWC. But of course, whenever you have some kind of proprietary language, it's not as advanced as Next.js, even though it has a lot of similar stuff, a lot of similar ideas, and you still have events, you still have something like Tailwind, you still have components and libraries and basically a lot, but it's not nearly as cool. I never tried TD myself, never had the courage to try it. My job, time pressure. That's the problem. That's the problem with a lot of jobs, especially whenever you go into the like mid level, senior level in this. You have basically so many people trying to ask you for something. So many people require you in meetings, in I don't know, just check the code, check that, do that, so that you don't have time for other stuff like trying out TDD or maybe reading another book or something, or maybe taking certifications. As Walter mentioned, the certifications in Salesforce industry are huge. Like certifications, I think that's the only one programming industry where I saw that certifications are playing such a big role. And at some point, this is what I saw in the colleagues that I worked with. If you're good at programming, if you're good at like what you do, you get pulled into so much work that you don't have time for other stuff that looks good on the resume, like certifications. It looks good to be 10x certified, but if you're a good developer, you have so much work that you don't have time for that, or you just need to sacrifice your evenings for preparing for them. And something that is very specific to Salesforce, because I think other industries, they don't really have that much of certifications for showcase. Like in Salesforce, whenever you go, for example, if we go to anyone who is from the Salesforce ecosystem, the first thing that they're gonna mention would be how many certifications they have. So let's say Walter. Let's take Walter. Warren. Wait, Warren Walters. Warren Walters. Okay, Warren. This US names. Yeah, 18x certified. And like this, you go and everyone is blah 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 x certified. Yes, one of my colleagues love repeating the phrase performance punishment all the time. I think that's why really good devs know how to say no. That's true. That's true. That's true. Yeah. Really good video though. Awesome roadmap. Walters. Wait, Walters. I'm so lost with names sometimes. Walters. No, this is Warren. That's the name. Oh my god. Yeah, that's... My coffee is already getting cold. Are certifications so important in Salesforce? In my job world, people don't talk much about certifications. Yes. Like if you go here to the trailhead, I think it's like Salesforce architect certifications. and they had this image. They removed it recently, but they had it all the time. Basically, how to? Where's it? Where's the image? Yeah, basically the idea is that you take the certifications and you have this pyramid, and you're climbing up this pyramid of technical excellence, and you take those certifications, and each certification is actually not. There are some that are big and some that are easy to take. So here they have a separate for certification, and you can see there's just a tons of certifications. So if we go to the developer certifications, I mean, you can take all of them. You can also go and take Salesforce administrator certifications. We can see that a certification pyramid scheme run. And I mean, you also need to pay for them. And then if you fail, you need to pay for retaking. So let's say we go to the developer one, and this is usually what people take who are just going into the ecosystem. They say here it's like 40, let's round up those two together. So let's say 45 hours of studying time. They want my money. Yeah, exactly. So it's like 45 hours of studying, which usually it means somewhere double of it if you're just starting out. So it would be like 90 hours of studying. So if you're studying for let's say 3 hours every day, 30 days. So you can take, if you're really studying hard, you can take like 1/3 every couple of months. So you can do like 5, maybe 6 certifications a year. And then you can be 10x certified, which looks good. What I decided not to do that. I decided to take just to search for the most certifications in the ecosystem. And those two are the most difficult one. And I just took this one because this is a requirement for this one, for Platform Developer 2. And I just have only those 2 certifications. And I'm happy to have only those 2 certifications. Not planning on taking more. Definitely looks good on the resume though. If you are 10x certified, 20x certified, and you have 5 years of experience, it's much better than if you're 0x certified or just 2x certified. Now, the funny part about certifications that you can find all the answers online. That's the funny part. And people selling dumps, they call dumps. They call dumps. And yeah, people selling them, and some people who are not really who don't care, they just buy them. They just memorize all the answers and they go take certification. So you can basically become 20x certified in like a week, which is gonna be definitely super suspicious, and definitely everyone gonna see that you took the dumps. But this is now, there are people in the ecosystem who did like 20 certifications or 18 certifications without having any job experience, which is wild. Like, it shouldn't be the case. But because we have this certification inflation, people just taking it because yeah, it's better to have 5 certifications than 2 certifications, of course. But again, those certifications, they don't mean just exam. That doesn't mean you know the topics. Even if you didn't use the dumps, it doesn't mean that you know the topics. It means that you can answer the questions in the exam, and that's it. Doesn't make you a developer. Like, actually going and building stuff, that makes you a developer, not taking certification. Doesn't make sense as a beginner to take 5 certifications. You should rather take like 1 certification to prove that you can take the certifications, and then go and build stuff. I'm kind of procrastinating from starting the next task. Yes, the years and years of solved problems and taking hurdles is what makes a good dev. That's true. practice and working with other developers. That's something that's, for me, working with other developers was the biggest push, I would say. Like, I have never learned more than from working with. There was a guy when I worked at Empower, the company. Um, I don't. I think Daniel. Yeah, Daniel. Like, I learned with him working just few months. I learned so much more than in the first year working the first company. Like, he showed me everything. He showed me how to do so many things. And this is was something that I was super afraid when I switched into being a founder, basically, that I'm gonna lose the skills. And first lose the skills. I mean, I'm still coding, so I'm not losing the skills. And the second one is that I will not have anyone to ask questions and not anyone to hang out with and learn from them. That's something, and I'm still concerned about this. Whenever I run into the question or in some problem that I cannot solve, I basically have to solve it on my own. I don't have that many people to ask, but I do have now online friends that I can ask, which is good. And I have Twitch, and I have YouTube streams. So that same. You mean same? What same? Dude, I've been in and out of startups since 17. Ah, that's what you mean. Talking about stuff and you're just on your own. Exactly. Exactly. And so you were every head. Yes. Yes. I agree. And another problem that you're not only, so as a developer, that's like one thing, you don't have anyone to ask, but you also don't have anyone to discuss the business stuff. Like, you face problems that none of your, even if you have developer friends, none of your developer friends are facing those problems. Like, you can develop something, but for example, marketing part, like, where do you discuss marketing part? Don't have anyone. They don't know how to go talk to a VC. Yeah. For me, it was web or aesthetic stuff. I can't do that for shit. Who the hell do I ask? Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I remember, for example, when I when I was the last time I was running my courses, my Apex courses. Like, how do you know what you're doing is correct? Like, how do you know that you're not doing complete shit from the marketing perspective? And like, you write emails, you do videos, you write LinkedIn posts and so on, but you don't really know how to do it. And it's like, I don't know, it's hard. That's why it's so hard. Yeah, our technical people and our functional people need to work closely together on many problems. Even after 5 years, I know there's a ton of stuff I can't solve without help. That's that's true. That's true. I got so lucky. My girlfriend ran her bro is an email engineer from IBM, and I became super good friends recently. That was a godsend. Yeah, that was one of the reasons why I started streaming, because um, it feels nice to have to have someone who is like who enjoying the same stuff as I do. I think it also depends where you live, actually. Like, if you live in California, that's good. If you live in Munich, try to find here any startups. Well, Munich is actually good. I mean, it's not bad. It's okay, but it's fine. It's not the worst city for startups or for building business. See ya, see ya, friend Effend. Yeah, I'm procrastinating on the task. I'm procrastinating. I need to start with the next lesson actually. Uh, okay, let's trick my brain into just going for 1 hour. I really spent so much time on that recently. I landed with Garuda Linux and NeoVim. Yeah. I was never deep into this stuff like NeoVim and Linux, even though I was using Linux my whole university. I actually regret a little bit not using NeoVim and all of these things. I think it would speed me up a little bit. It's always better to learn fundamentals than not to learn fundamentals. It's because my first job for like 2 years we could only use Vim as in AWS cluster, vanilla Vim, nothing at all. What? Really? You could only use Vim? It sounds like a curse. You know, it's like Vim means AWS. You know, like you go into the description, you apply for the job, you find the perfect role, you find the perfect job, and then there's like one caveat, but you have to use Vim all the time. And you're like, no! That was legit true. Exactly what you said. But now I can't unlearn it. Is it really that more productive than keybinds are op? Is it really that more productive? I had my few weeks where I was, now I'm gonna learn it, and then I tried it for not weeks, hours. I had my few hours where I wanted to learn it. I tried a little bit, and then I decided I don't want to learn it. Yeah, I think so. Honestly, I went back to VS Code and IntelliJ stuff. They're super nice. Yeah, I but I see. But my ThinkPad has 8 GB and can't run shit unless it's legit lightweight, nothing. I see. Yeah, in Salesforce I don't think we even have a proper like NeoVim setup. I mean, I think you can set it up as you want, right? I don't think that it's language specific. Yeah, right, that was, yeah, it's not language specific, right? Yeah, it was strange idea. Standardizing dev envs is weird. Like if everyone uses Vim, you have downtime for everyone to learn it. Exactly, that's the thing. Because they're stuck learning. Exactly, that's the thing. You're, let's say you have an awesome Vim setup. Then you share your screen to show something for your junior developer, and the junior developer just melts down because he knows only Git by clicking in VS Code. But it also helps if you can go to someone else's SSH and it's exactly the same as yours. Yeah, I see what you mean. Because I'm teaching development for beginners, I can't use those things. I need to use the most basic stuff that you ideally without any setup. As soon as you have setup, like I had like I have a simple team in VS Code. And sometimes people ask me, "Oh, why is your VS Code looks different?" And I'm like, "That's just a theme. Doesn't mean anything. Just those are just colors." VS Code is probably go to. Yeah, VS Code is the way to go. Relationship. How old are you, by the way, don't mind. Nice resume, dude. I am 25, I think. Yeah, I'm 25. 25. I think I look younger on those recordings than I am. Just because you don't see me in the full size. Just see my face. I mean, I've been developer for like what, 5 years? And I've been developing stuff for maybe like 10 years something. Startup life is lonely, though people don't know how bad it is. That's true. That's true. I don't know. I hope that at some point I will find the community of people, or maybe maybe I can actually build a community of people who are just doing that. Programming isolate is also kind of anxiety provoking. I think with programming you have much more. I don't know. Programming is much more straightforward. You don't have. I don't know. Kind of programming is programming. Like I switched, so I have never coded in Next.js, and then in 3 weeks, look at me, I can develop some websites on Next.js. So programming is programming, but business is so different that speaking like one people building startup, other people building service-based businesses, other people building SaaS, that's so different. My mom was an investment banker. I see you have here a full family. Like your girlfriend has someone from ML. Your mom is an investment banker. Lucky dude. That's good. Doctor. Where are you from? US. Ah, here we go. Wait, isn't it too late for you in US? What time is it in US? It's definitely like... New York time. 7. Ah, okay. That's fine. That's actually not that early. I've been working for 24 hours now almost. Ah, man. What are you doing? Took a break, saw the stream. How did you find the stream, by the way? I don't know, clicked software dev section. Nice. I like startups. Click. I see. Yeah, I would also click. Twitch is like the only place I can talk about this stuff mostly. I actually agree. Well, I'm also part of the community called Small Bets. Have you heard about that? No, Small Bets. They're actually quite good. Like I mean, this is similar to the like indie hacking or something. Basically, just community of people building different businesses. They say try make 1,000 with a small project first, but quite frankly, there's a lot of people who already have startups or work in businesses. Just basically just entrepreneurs. You're in between. The fuck to do? What do you mean you don't know what to do? I think I want to go data engineering. I was math to start. Yeah, I don't know. I taught myself coding, but my first work was all math. Yeah, I mean, they're approximately all the same, right? I left college for a startup actually. Oh, like you fucking moron. I just want to say, oh, that's nice. You think it was a bad decision? Top 30 school and I died like 6 months after. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, I mean, education in US is weird. You pay like crazy money for education, right? Like here in Germany, it's free to go to university. You can just go and then decide, oh, I don't really want to go, and just drop out. Didn't I got so many grants? Okay, it's scholarship stuff. Nice. That's good. That's good. I wonder 5k semester to college was 70k without 8. I wonder why I don't see that many US people go to Germany or just in general to Europe to study. Like, I really don't understand it. It's free. It's free here. Like, you pay 0. I mean, you don't pay 0, you pay $100 per semester, like $100, not 1,000, not 100,000, like $100 I paid per semester. And you get quality education, like you get good education. Yes, you don't go to the top school, but you get a good education. It's also sort of cause college gets you connections, alumni network are insane. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I know. I mean, education in US, I think, is different. Here they try to kick you out because I mean they make it hard to pass exams so that they can kick you out because it's free, so they don't wanna just have everyone. My school was just terrible and so fucking hard. Hmm. Ranked in more nation static colleges. I see. Lesson. So what are you doing now? Are you working? So the average was always set as an 83. I don't know what it means, 83. Oh, that's B in school. I don't know what B. I mean, we have, okay, so it's A plus to F. Ah, okay. Ah, okay, I see. 83. So it's probably 83, probably from 100, right? I see. I see. Yeah, we have a bit different system here. I've taken a few months off just to code all day. Just get a bit better and accelerate. Are you coding a startup or something? Topic 3. You don't have any startups, okay. I mean, startups, I don't like the word startups, like, I don't know. Startups kind of implies that you want some kind of innovation. I'm not up for changing the world. I'm up for making money. Not only, I mean, it's not true that I mean, that's not the only one driver, but that's an important one. I like making good shit. That's a good way to put it. Like, I want to make something I'm proud of and solve some issue I have. I agree. I agree. If other people can use the school, or if not, whatever. I agree, but I don't agree on the part of that other people will be using that or not. I think it's important if you create something that no one uses. I don't know how much useful is it. I mean, maybe if it's useful just for you, it's fine. I don't know. Depends. I don't know. I wouldn't be happy if what I'm doing now would not be used by anyone. So kind of it is more like I make something because I want to learn it. Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, that's a great mindset for being a good developer. Exactly, it's not good if you want to build a business, because if you're building a business, you need to build it for people. Okay, I have all the lessons. Now I need to create the tasks. As always, first I'm gonna write down the tasks. Shit. And I just finish and go to the next. Yeah, I mean, that's the way to go if you want to learn something. That's the way to go. And you also need to have like enough money for that. Because I myself wouldn't be able to take, for example, a month off. Lesson 4. Because then you know how to solve the problem. Yeah, I mean, this is like that's a really good approach for getting much better in development. That's for sure. Okay, now the hardest part, getting the tasks. As objects. Good luck, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, here I'm gonna need help of ChatGPT. I'm also investing in myself. Yeah, I mean, that's true. I'm only 21, so I got time likely. Yeah. That's the best thing. Having time is the best thing. I think in general, if I knew this earlier, I would be I would be much more ahead. Having time is one of the best things that you can ever have. Like, if you, that doesn't make, let's imagine one person who's making 100k a year, and another person and works 80 hours a week, and another person who makes, let's say, 30,000 a year and works 5 hours a week. The second person will be so much far ahead in like 5 years time than the first one, even though if it's making less. It sucks. I have very little stuff in Scribe. That sucks. That sucks. I think if you also learning Rust was worth it. I think the first, so when I quit my developer job, that was exactly the idea that I had, that I wanna free up for me time to work on the meaningful things that can bring me much further ahead. But I think if you're just barely making it, as I do, for example, then everything should go into optimizing for the money, not for learning. So I'm not optimizing for learning now. Of course, thinking long term. Like, this is definitely, I can go and make now like 5. I know I can match my developer salary that I had, but I would be working all the week. See, do I still have coffee? It's still a bit warm. I'm just gonna get this coffee for me. I don't have a project or idea that I am willing to devote that right now. I wish I did. I think it's hard to come up with ideas unless you're deep into the ecosystem of something. Like, I am 4 years into Salesforce ecosystem and 2 years into teaching Salesforce development. I see the problems, I see the gaps. But if you're not into like deep into some kind of ecosystem, it's super hard to come up with meaningful ideas. But you still can though. I have ideas, but I cannot do alone. Why not? Then those are not ideas that work. I mean, like, you can have an idea to, I don't know, launch a competitor for OpenAI, but it's not something that you can do, right? It's important that the amount match if not just get a job for now. But finance is riddled with shit. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some. You need permissions, license. Yeah, definitely some businesses that need more permissions and licenses than others. That's for sure. See, I'm gonna review first. First, I'm gonna put those tasks, and then I'm gonna review it later with with my fancy review stuff. And I cannot afford. Yeah, that's the problem. That's typical. It's typical. I also wish I was not the one who creating those tasks and putting them like this, but I cannot afford. If there's a code that needs to be called before each test, it should go into pre-code. Got to drop a food, baby. See you. See you. I actually want to remove this minimap. Kind of settings. Is it called minimap? Nice. Oh, that feels better. That seems to be correct. Okay, to the next one. And again it shows. Yep. Like the way I'm doing, it's time to get the work mode again. Enough error in R&D. I need to switch into development. Yeah. Everything that is not development doesn't bring much further. Research. Research is good. If after research there's good development. Damn it, ChatGPT. That's wrong. Honestly, I was just consulting again, and that was really fun when I did. I like solving problems and novelty of new issues. Like need to fix shit on the fly. If you say that consulting is fun, then go for it. Yeah. I see you got your portion of motivation from the stream. Yeah, this one is much shorter. I just gotta do it. Yeah, go for it. Okay, so I have accounts, now I need to have contacts. Probably gonna create a new chat here. You can see how ChatGPT starts going off rails, and then you can create a new one, a new chat. Contact service. I don't know, maybe it just voodoo things, but I kind of feel like it definitely helps. Important requirements are descriptions for the tests, so the amount of them must match. I've heard the funny thing, by the way. If you say I will tip you $200 if you do it good, then ChatGPT will produce better results. let's see. Nah, I don't see it as much better. Does it say anything about tipping? Nope, I don't see it. You cannot really create a mock ID, ChatGPT, come on. You need to create an actual account. Account. New account. Think name is the only required field for the account. Test. And then insert account. Okay, that's not accurate description. Okay, the method must return a contact object. That's not correct. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now that seems to be correct. I'm gonna leave out, it's a little bit confusing, this one. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it out. Okay, now I'm gonna make... Let me just start a new chat. Even when I say that requirements should match, they're still not matching. Okay, that's correct, and I would set this to 20 probably, because the tasks are getting actually more complex. Important requirements. Requirement size must be the same as tests size, because requirements are descriptions for the tests. Okay, all the required fields are probably gonna list here: close date, name, stage name, and that's it. And all of this time I was muted. Okay, I will make a break for 5 minutes. back. I am back. So, here's an idea. I want to record another YouTube video. And because quite frankly, I need to produce YouTube videos. Like, I do need. So, the YouTube video that I want to do, first I'm gonna disable the music. Okay, the tier maker. The favorite type of YouTube videos is making tiers. And let's see. Oh, they look quite strange. Can I modify them? Oh, let's call it exceptional. Let's call it God tier. A will be what? Awesome. Awesome. B will be okay. C. Y. No, C. Why not? And D. Why? Let me scroll down and go into the full mode. View. Enter full screen. Can I, or is here a full screen? Like, can I go into the full screen of this mode? Okay, I can log in. Arjun, hi. Hi. I was just about to record a YouTube video for ranking Salesforce certifications. Well, it is kind of on the YouTube, right? But it's a stream. And then I'm gonna put it into a separate video. Okay, Salesforce. I don't know. I kind of wanna. I don't know. Is there a full screen? I saw people doing it. Alignment chart. What is alignment chart? View community rank. Rank it now. All right. Let's do it. Just. You're growing. I do. Thank you. Okay. Save for download. Alright, so let's alright, let's rank some certifications for Salesforce developers. And especially I'm gonna rank for the entry jobs, for the entry role. Let's say you're admin, architect, anyone just breaking into the system, into the Salesforce ecosystem, and you wanna get your first job. We have so many certifications, and some of them are good, some of them are awesome for getting first job. or maybe for the first couple of years working as a developer. So let's rank them. Let's just comment out those people who already have 5 years of experience. Let's rank those who are just starting out. The first one is administrator. So the administrator cert is actually quite good for Salesforce developers because it shows that you have really good understanding of Salesforce platform in general, not only the code. But I would probably downgrade it here to the OK. So S and A, B, C, D. D is the lowest rank, S is the biggest one. I would downgrade it to the OK because the next one is advanced admin. And advanced admin is definitely much better than just having an admin cert. Then AI associate, I would put on why not? Because why wouldn't you take the certification? Because it's something that you can take basically from zero to being good at it in, like, let's say, day 2 maybe. The same goes for associate, like, why not? Why not? Application architect. So everything that is architect related, I would not recommend you for the first job. Because it is way above your ability if you don't have any working experience. So if we speak about just getting your first job, that's why would you do that? But if you already have a little, quite, like, let's say a few years of experience, then having an application architect is okay certification. It's not something that you should have as a super goal, because it's not mainly what you do. You're not so application architect is something like architect for admins. So it's not your domain. Then we have B2B solution architect, B2B, everything that is B2B, B2C, it is very, very specific. So you should take those certifications if you want to make this B2B and B2C stuff your main application area, your main knowledge domain. And the thing is that B2B and B2C, they're quite different. So you can be a developer with B2B commerce cloud, for example, and not be super deep into Salesforce. So it's possible. But don't take those things unless you want to specialize in these products, which is not good for your first job. So if you want to get the first job, don't do that. Business analyst. Business analyst is actually quite a good certification. I would, thinking about this, I would probably downgrade the application architect to why not? To the C, because I feel like application architect, yeah, okay, because it is an architect certification, I'm gonna put it into the B. CPQ specialist. Now the CPQ specialist goes into here unless you want to specialize in CPQ, which now is such a high in demand skill. Like, look at all the job descriptions out there for Salesforce. CPQ is like in 50% of them. So but I would also say that CPQ stuff, it's more like for admins. So it's kind of useful, but you shouldn't focus on that as a beginner. You should focus on the development stuff. Data Cloud Consultant. Data Cloud Consultant goes into Y as well, because first, it is specific. Second, it is much more architect level of certification. So Data Cloud, most likely you won't be having anything to do with the Data Cloud unless you have already 3, 4, 5 years of experience. Because those Data Cloud projects, they're for big companies, they're for big complex projects. So I would not recommend you doing anything with the Data Cloud related. Education Cloud and Experience Cloud goes here in the Y. Like, why would you do them? For exactly the same reason. They are super specialized. So don't do them unless you want to go in those products. So if your goal is to work as a Salesforce developer, don't do the certifications. Focus on the Salesforce development. Now, field service consultant, the same thing. I don't even know what it means. Heroku architect stuff goes into something that you shouldn't be doing. Industry CPQ developer. Now, this is more interesting because this is already much more developer certification. So if you want to specialize in CPQ, which is really high in demand skill currently as 2024 now, beginning of 2024, you can kind of do them if you really want. Gonna increase your market value. JavaScript developer. The JavaScript developer is awesome. This is God tier. This is, so first, not that many people have it. Second, it's a lot of transferable skills that you have. If you know JavaScript, it means you can also develop in JavaScript in other programming languages. So JavaScript is awesome. JavaScript something that you're gonna need as a developer to be working all the time with. So really good certification. Also keep in mind it's hard certification. It's not an easy certification at all. It's a hard one. Marketing Cloud and engagement, I think that's what was Pardot or something. Marketing Cloud, Marketing Cloud, Marketing Cloud, Marketing Cloud. Unless you want to go and specialize in Marketing Cloud, you shouldn't do that. And I don't advise you to go and specialize in the Marketing Cloud. You will only reduce your chances for getting hired for the first position. I don't recommend that. Marketing Cloud developer, again, so if you really want to go and specialize in the Marketing Cloud, you can go for the developer cert. The same goes for Marketing Cloud specialist. You can guess non-profit cloud, Omni Studio, and Omni Studio developer goes for the same thing. But now the difference with the Omni Studio developer, why I don't put it here in the C? It's because Omni Studio is like, how many jobs is there for Omni Studio? Not that many. Much more for Marketing Cloud. Like Marketing Cloud jobs, there are actually quite a bit. For Omni Studio, not that many at all. So I don't recommend do this stuff at all. Even if you want to go into Omni Studio, maybe, I know, maybe the better way for you would be to find just a Salesforce developer job. Now, and non-profit, I skipped it for exactly the same reason, because it's very specialized. Now, Platform App Builder. Platform App Builder is a really good certification for developer. And I would put it into the awesome. Especially because it's kind of like an advanced administrator. So it goes in a lot of different admin deep stuff. It's not really about development. It's nothing about code. It's more about choosing what tool to choose. Like, here's your scenario. Choose, do you need to do code for that, or do you need to do flows for that? If you have, let's say, the Universal Containers company want to implement something really cool. You're a developer, and how would you advise to implement this thing on the Salesforce? And you're like, code. And they're like, no, that's not right, because you can implement it with a flow. That's what App Builder is about. Really good certification, because it shows you that you're well-rounded developer, not only just code, which is something that people should kind of also put emphasis on, because sometimes when you see that you're applying for development, then kind of people perceive that you're a developer. It means you're not doing the admin part, or you're not doing the consulting part. So having these certifications is a good sign. Platform Developer 1. Really good certification. I would say it's the only one required certification out of all of them. Like, Platform Developer 1 is something that you have to get in order to get the first job. Like, it's absolutely required. Admin, not required. App Builder, not required. JavaScript, definitely not. But Platform Developer 1, absolutely. Absolutely, you need to do that. Platform Developer 2 is the next one. and I'm gonna put it here into God tier. Platform developer 2, and I have platform developer 2. It opens up a lot of doors. This is something that when people see it on your resume, they kind of see that you're technically good. You know how to solve technical problems. So Dev 2, if you can get it. You will not learn a lot of cool stuff. Almost every single person I spoke to said that Dev 2 was not worth it. But every single person I spoke to said that Dev 2 certification was worth it in terms of employability, in terms of showing your skills on the market. This is the main reason for Dev 2 certification. So take the Dev 2 certification. The next one, Sales Cloud Consultant. This is an okay certification to take for a developer, because it goes deeper into the Sales Cloud, and most likely you will need to do some kind of Sales Cloud consulting stuff on your project, because you will not be just coding. Most likely, especially if you work in consulting, as I did for the last 4 years, you would be working with other businesses. So that's a good certification to do. Sales representative. I heard that it's really easy. I didn't take it. So if you want to do that, but don't put too much emphasis on it. Service Cloud Consultant. I don't recommend doing this certification because it goes deep, but it goes into the Service Cloud. If you have some Service Cloud projects, maybe you could do them, but I don't know. You should rather do some developer certifications. Strategy Designer, it goes here for the reason because it is not really a developer certification in the first couple of years. It is a good one, but not for the first years. User Experience Designer is already a little bit better because this is something that you will be working much more. So you will be working with the user experience a lot. So that's much more useful. Then WCRM goes here because it's, again, very specialized. So as you see, just the main idea, don't take very specialized certs. Start with those that are more common. Start with the Dev 1 certification and then go into the whatever field you like, because you can't know which field out of all these clouds you're gonna choose unless you work with some of them. Now we have System Architect. As soon as you have System Architect, it shows you that you're not only a developer that can write code, you're also a developer that can architect systems. So it's a good one. And the Technical Architect, of course, that's a God tier. And here I think few certifications are missing actually from this one, like sharing and visibility. So those from the pyramid scheme of Salesforce architecture, but they would all go into the I would say. Yeah, I would even put Technical Architect above into like double gold or super gold, because if you can do the Technical Architect, of course that's not something that like the Technical Architect impossible to do with a couple of years of experience. So I don't even think that the certification should be on the scheme. And all the other architecture certs that are not included here, they should not be your main priority. So if you wanna start with the Salesforce development, go for the Platform Developer 1, and then any out of this awesome tier. You would need to do something from like for example for Advanced Admin, you're gonna need to have Admin, and then do some from B or C tier, something that are quick wins, like for example AI Associate or just Associate. Those two you can pass in couple of days. Then Platform Developer 1, Admin and Advanced Admin, and here we go, you have 5 certs. And 5 certs, more than enough to get hired for your first developer job. Just pay attention that on top of these certs, you also have something to show. You also have real skills to show. That's important. Thank you, and see you in the next one. Boom! That's how I record the videos. One take, no script. One take, no script. Yeah, I just realized that this map is actually missing few thirds. But that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, those are basically the certifications. I'm procrastinating from my main task is creating the tasks. I created already them here to some degree. And you know what? For now, it's gonna be enough for the streaming for today. And thank you everyone for sticking. Please comment under the videos because I get so many views but not so many comments. I would love to see what you think. What are you actually, guys? What are you doing? What are you working? I have no idea from which country even are you watching. So thank you everyone and see you tomorrow.